Fans of the Horus Heresy, the Mechanicum, and things that are more interesting than Elon Musk's boring company, thank you very much for joining me for an Out of the Pack review. And we are looking at something really big today, a large Lord of War model by Forge World Studios. And large means a big red box, and this model is the Mechanicum Ordinatus Aktaeus Super Heavy Transporter. This is going on general release on the 17th of May. This particular one here I purchased at the 2019 Horus Heresy Weekender, so back in February. So this is an early release model. It's been emitting binary distress calls for a few months in my stash, so I thought it's probably about time to do an unboxing and show you what it's like. So what we're going to do in this video, well, we're going to get it out of the box, I'm going to show you the parts, we're going to take a look at the quality and have a peep at the instructions and generally see what it's about. Without further ado, let's go on in. So this comes in one of these fairly hefty sized big red boxes. And if you're interested, there you go, Mechanicum Ordinatus Akteeus, and I think I've got the pronunciation correct there. So put that to one side. Big deep box, so there's loads of parts. What have we got first? We've got some instructions. So a photograph of the completed vehicle in its crawler configuration. Fans of the fluff, have a pause and have a read. Let's have a look through this. So first we have an exploded diagram. This is, whoa, this is a pretty big model, isn't it? How many components? So it says 66 in total, although there are a number of multiples there. So it's probably, I don't know, around 100 parts in total making up this vehicle. Interesting first observation here is there is no internal detailing on this particular borer. Probably a good thing, because internal detailing makes models very complicated. It can be nice sometimes, but it's also quite faffy. This miniature here is by one of my Forge World favourites, Stuart Williamson, and there's a little bit of the bump, and it talks here a little bit basically how you can build it in a crawler configuration, a time to bore configuration, then you can lift this whole thing off as well. I'm going to be doing lots of magnetising to be able to alternate between the two. So we shall have a quick flick through the instructions. So it starts with assembling the core of the crawler unit, and then we move on to the 4 caterpillar crawlers or 4 caterpillar track units before assembling the actual body itself. Which actually seems, in the overall scheme of things, if the body looks pretty straightforward. The most complex part of this is going to be building this assembly here. And in particular, as I intend to do, this section here, magnetising it. So it can be in a lowered or a raised configuration. Great design of this vehicle. I mean, it goes back to the original Epic classic model, the Imperial Mole. And there is also some, well, it's clear, that original design in turn I think was inspired by the Thunderbirds. I think it was it Thunderbird 5, the underground drilling machine? Tell me in the comments if it was a different Thunderbird. I can't quite remember. So, instructions. We have a packing checking sheet, which, let's have a look. So when was this done? 15.1.19, so the 15th of January. So this was checked and packed 2 weeks before the Horus Heresy Weekender 2019. So this should be an early release kit, fresh out the molds. So I hope it'll be a nice cast. Which I'll take away a bit of the bubble wrap. I'm now going to move this box to one side and give us space to lay out the parts in front of us. There, that looks all right. Let's begin. Right. So firstly, we have a big bag of bits. Right. I think these are mainly the components for the actual mole itself, or the Akteaus borer itself, or sort of similar thing. Here we have, this is, well, I think that's the main part, or part of the crawler chassis. How does that look? It's been a while since I've done one of these, a bit out of practice. It was pretty decent. Got a mold misalignment there and there. I think that's probably going to be hidden. Bit of a scratty join there, It's going to need cleaning up where that's running across those. Feels nice and smooth, not tacky, so haven't got any issues with release agent there. Then we've got some more bits which are to do with the raising and lowering mechanism. So there's this part here, big bit that's got quite a bend on it, so that's going to need straightening out. And I've got that track running down the centre. I think that's going to be to do with the raising and lowering mechanism. And then I think these two parts here are like the runners, and those are going to sit either side of that and hold it all together. Now there we go. You can see those lugs are going to go in there like that. I think we've got the other end of the actual crawler body. So we've got some slight mold slips to clean up around this part of it. Better on the other side. Again, it's nice and dry, so cleanly cast. This element here, I think, is the engine, the rear engine doodah. That's a technical phrase, straight out of the Omnisize handbook, if you want, the doodah. What's this like casting wise? Got an ugly mold line there, an ugly mold slit there. So that will need filling. It's probably a fill as opposed to a cut down job. But it will clean, it will fix that. Apart from that, yeah, that looks good. Next, we've got two elements of the forward bore. So we've got a pair of lugs and holes, so that's going to click together like that. And let's have a look at some of the details on this. Well, the great thing about these forge-walled borer units is the detailing on the drill assemblies is rather impressive indeed. A mold displacement there to clean up, and another one here that might need filling, looking at the magnitude of the slip. Another part here, I'm not sure if this is front or back, that's like almost like a bulkhead. A small one here, and then this, which is clearly like the core drill part. And we've got this bit here, which is the front of the drill assembly. That looks nice. Got a number of small air bubbles to fill in around the perimeter of the edge, or the circumference of the edge, I should probably say. Right, so we've got some big bits out of the way there. We've got a couple of bags of small components. Let's leave those for the moment and do what are the really large body components. So we've got two big bits here, and these look like the cylinders, or the sides of the cylindrical body. So the rules are out for this, and without getting into them in a huge amount of detail, you can transport anything that walks in the Mechanicum list, I think. You can't transport Thanatars, but you can transport Castellax and Domitars, I believe. I think you can do Domitars. So it can hold some of the big stuff. Those are going to go together like that. I can't do that at the moment because these huge gates, they're going to require removal. Right, let's have a look then. So, got an ugly MacGuffin there. I think that's just a bit of excess, almost like giant flash. Got a bit more there. Got more slippage around there. And, that's not going to show. It might need sanding down though to get a good fit. But otherwise, that all looks nice. Some lovely details around the boarding and entry hatches. And then the opposite half. Got a bit more MacGuffin to clean up there. Same here. And again, a really large gate to remove at the end. And almost like symmetrical to the side, we've got this large access port. And then these, I think, are supposed to be almost like the drive belts or the drive tracks that run around it. And you would imagine those are dragging it through the underground. Right, on to, we've got more big stuff in here, so I wonder what this is. All right, so this is a whopping part, if there ever was. So this is this the forward? I think this might be the forward collar. Oh no, sorry, it's the rear, so it's kind of like here. Took me a moment to figure that out. Right, what's this like quality-wise? Bit of scratchiness there to clean up. A small bit of broken mould there, and there. So those will need cleaning out with, I'll probably use a chisel for that. Overall, not too bad. Lovely detailing, quite nice big chunky detailing on this. Yeah, nice cleanly cast part as well. That feels nice and smooth. No unpleasant stickiness. And then we've got one more large component before we move on to what I suspect are the tracks. And this is a real beauty. This is the forward drill. So yeah, just look at the details on that. All those teeth. Yeah, and then these are like the melter cutters. So it uses in the fluff, you imagine it using a combination of the of heat and physical force to bore through the earth. You can see here there's a thin shim flanking off that. That's going to punch out, and that axle with the nose cone or the nose drill, the drill tip, shall I say, will go in like so. Is this all cast okay? There's a bit of a mould slip here going around the edge where the mould's just not quite being cut on the edge there. That's why that's there. But overall, that's pretty good. I think that probably just a bit of milliput to fill it in. Yeah, no big dramas there. But it does look lovely. That's absolutely awesome. And of course, if you have other ideas about how to use your Forge World kits, this is a really good lemon juicer. Right, I've got another couple of sets of parts in bubble wrap, and these are the track crawlers. So these are big, chunky bits. All right, let's have a look then. So they're cast as a single pieces, which is ambitious. So it's going to be a lot of work. This is going to take me ages to do, I can already tell. To go around and clean up all these. That's a bit poor. You've got all these mould slips there where those caterpillar links are offset there. Bit of a shame. I suppose they are hidden away. A bit of filling, a bit of cutting, I'll get rid of those. What's more annoying is the mould slips on the track link heads, which don't look good at all. I'll have to see how we do with those. On the other side, things are lined up better. This is the outside, so yeah. But yeah, so a little bit scratchy that, but it's a lovely looking piece. Again, it's been cast very nicely. It's nice and dry, no stickiness. We've just had this done as a single piece, so no detachable track unit. So quite a lot of careful work required, removing this gate here to make sure we don't damage, well, I don't damage the track details. And I've just noticed all these bits are slightly out of camera, so we'll just have a little shuffle to put them back. How's that? It looks really messy now, doesn't it? That's better. Let us continue. So, second track unit. So again, got some tricky cleanup to do there. This doesn't look so good at the end. It's a bit sunken in. Got some slippage as well. And again, just like the other side, you got some mould slips on that. I think it must be an issue with this mould that they've designed it so that's on the inside, so it's less visible, because the badge of the Omnisci, the Mechanicum badge, is facing outwards. So I suppose there is a bit of a hidden element to that, although I never like putting models together in a poor or in an unfinished manner. Yeah, that sunken in bit there, you can see it's always a challenge with larger bits. If they vacuum if they put them in vacuums or pressure chambers to force the air out, then you can get compression of the mould. Don't know, I might have to rebuild that with some filler. And then we've got one more set of parts to look at. So one more set of tracks, I think. So the first one, right, so again we've got this tricky area of cleanup on the track to do. Got a mould slip running across that sprocket wheel. And some sort of thing there. Again, the side that's facing out that you're going to see more is better aligned. So interesting there. So they knew they were going to have problems with that. Well, I hope they knew they were going to have problems as opposed to deciding that was a way of making it easier. And then the final one, so starting on the outside again, everything's got flash to clean up here, as all of them have, but it's fairly well lined up. On the inside though, this one's actually pretty much a bit of displacement, but that's not badly lined up. So overall on those, I guess it depends how perfect you want your models. They are going to take me a few hours of cleanup work for sure. There's a lot to do there. I mean, I guess doing something like this reduces the number of parts in the kit. So it does save a bit of cost, but we've generally seen a trend on forged vehicles recently to have the gate, when it's attached to a track, to have a section cut out. So you cut the gate away and then you stick a separate track piece in place to hide the gate. So it is a shame that that wasn't done on this kit, and given it is a super heavy and obviously kind of like a special kit, I'd have expected them to do that, to carry that trend through from recent models. Right, so that is all the big bits, and yes, there are quite a lot of big bits. So we're going to have a quick look now through what's in the small component bags, and it is going to be quick. So there's a lot of parts. I think actually there's quite a lot of repeated parts, so there's a number of sets of these, which look like some sort of, I don't know even how you describe them. But yeah, there's a mixture of short stubby ones and then versions with longer posts. Yeah, there's that one, that one, that one. These are all nicely cast though. Little bits of flash here there, but the actual parts themselves look really nicely lined up. Lovely. Ooh, there you go. Thank you for joining us, Focus. Yeah, they look nice. I don't know what they do. We'll perhaps come to that in a later video. Right, then what else do we have? We have 4 of these, so I think these are part of the rear engine assembly. So nicely detailed vent elements. Good, yeah. All nicely cast. A little bit of cleanup here and there, but very nicely done. And then we have a selection of cables. So these are very characteristic styled forged cables. Now these things, if they're not properly cast, are a nuisance to clean up. That's perfect. That's very good. And those are perfect as well, so yeah, that's good. It's nice to see difficult detail part or complex detail parts like that and nicely cast. It's quite a complex kit this, so it's difficult to know what all these elements do. There's a set of caps and a set of posts, so I don't know if these are going to link up with those. Perfectly cast, very good. I expect these might be doing some moving element in the final model, so it's good to see that those are well turned out. I have a little core piece here. I suspect this is the rear engine, or the centre of the rear motor or engine cluster. We have some tubing. Normally when I review a kit, I get a fairly good feel for what it's about quite quickly. On this one, these parts I don't really know. It looks a bit unusual to me, so it's going to be a bit of an adventure building this. And then we've got these things as well, whatever they do. Again though, all these detail parts we've been looking at have been very nicely cast indeed. There's a whole set of other little components, whatever those may do. Some clamps, and then I just found another set of cables there, so those look really nice, very nicely cast as well, like the other set, or the other sets, should I say. And then to finish with, we've got some more elements there, whatever those do. They look like they might be part of the arm lifting mechanism. Some pins and clamps. Some, don't know what those are, some bottles or something. And then some tubes. Perhaps these are going to be where all those cables connected into. I suspect that is the case. Okay, we're on to the last bag. I'm going to try stack this out here, sort of run out of space on the other side. Right, let's go on this. First we have 4 of these. 2, 3, and 4, and these are the outer covers, or perhaps cowling, for the engine cluster at the rear of the vehicle. 4 of those, all really well cast. They look really good. We have some sort of bracket here. Again, beautifully cast. These detail parts have been really well done. I'm impressed with these. I think that's part of the crawler unit. There is a bit of a slip to take away there, as you can see. I have a feeling that's not going to be very visible, and it will clean up fine. Got a nice big hefty piece of pipework here, very Mechanicum-esque. Have we got any other big pipes? There we go, we've got a second one. I thought a lot of things seem to come in 2s and 4s in this model. Yes, another nice big hefty pipe. Do like a bit of pipe. This thing, whatever that may be, I don't know what it is. It's nicely cast, a little bit of work required on those mounting points, whatever they are. You can see there's been a mold break and there's a bit of infill there. Bit of work though with a micro chisel, and that will come out nicely. Another little block, perhaps some power capacitors. Lovely cast, looks great. Then a mounting bracket of some formal description. Yeah, a little bit of a mold seam to clean off on that, nothing big. There is, I think this is one of, or the articulation arm to raise the mole up on, or the Akteaus up on its carriage, so it can adopt a boring position. That will be a candidate for strengthening with some wire, I think. A piece that looks like it's going to work in conjunction with this, and yeah, there you go. So that's like gonna hold this piece in place. Got another one of these brackets, which we saw one of before. So there's its compatriot, and we have another big piece of pipe work. Oops, just lost the focus there. And like a cap. What that is. So it goes kind of nicely on your finger. It could be like a giant thimble. Prizes in the comments for anyone who can suggest the most innovative use for this part, except for building this kit. I am interested to hear. You're very nearly approaching your favourite part of an unboxing video, which is guns and ammo. But before we do that, we just have a few little elements to do. Now these are intriguing. Right, okay. Right, okay. I wonder if that's right. Okay, so here we have a set of missiles. You can see they are in like a link magazine, and there is actually a total of 3. Those are going to go here, around the outside of, I'm sure that's these parts here, around the outside of it. Now, I have a gut feeling that there should be 4. But no, there is 3. There you go. So just 3. Interesting. So I wonder if there is a 4th or 10. 10. Or maybe was that bracket I mentioned earlier. So this bracket here, I think, is going to take the place of 1 quadrant of this missile ring. From the rules for this vehicle, and if you check out the Forge World website, they are currently posted there. This has got one of the most exotic and unusual set of rules for any unit ever in the Age of Darkness game, or 7th edition full stop. I do recommend you check those out, but it's the primary weapon of the actual borer element is a huge missile array pod that can saturate an area with fire. And that's what those elements are representing. The magazine feeds on those. Finally, before guns and ammo, we have a some sort of wheel, a cog, and how apt that is on a Mechanicum vehicle. Which just leaves us with guns and ammo, and you're doing point defense weaponry for the actual tracked crawler. And that is a pair of Volkite culverins, which are going to mount on turrets. So let's take a look at these. I'm a big fan of the style of the Volkite weapon. I also like how they work in game. Volkites are always a great test of casting quality because these fine radiator fins. Got some slippage to clean up there, not too bad though. The fins are crisply done. And then on the second one, that's even better. That's perfect, guys. Yeah, love those. They're going to look great. Oh, well, that's a really nice positive way to finish that review with a couple of groovy turret-mounted or pintle-mounted Volkite culverins. So there you go, an unboxing of the mighty Mechanicum Ordinatus Aktaeus super heavy transporter. I think it's an absolutely brilliant looking model, which is the main reason I bought it. As opposed to using it in game, I mainly bought this for the model because I just like it. It's just so retro. I like how it's been designed. I like how it works. You can pose it in a number of different ways. But on the gaming front, it does serve a good purpose because this is the only Mechanicum transport that can actually move their robots about. So the battle automata. So it's going to fulfill a tactical niche in Horus Heresy games. That's good. In terms of the actual quality of this kit, well, overall, it's really, really good. All of these detail components were absolutely fantastically cast. So they're really, really good. Very, very small amounts of cleanup required. Bit of cleanup to do on the larger elements, what I'd say is a normal amount. These track units are going to be, I can see these are going to be a bit of hard work. And as I say, it's a shame that these weren't designed with a separate piece of track to cover over where the gate attaches to them. But apart from that, this looks great and a really exciting project, so I'm looking forward to doing this one when I can fit it into my ever busy life. That said, I hope you've really enjoyed this this unboxing video. We're not boxing this up, we're unboxing it. The boxing was done at Forge World. I do hope you've enjoyed the video. As always, I would love to hear your thoughts and comments in the comment section. Where else? But other than that, I'd just like to say thank you very much for watching. I'll speak to you next time, and goodbye.